Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So I am a big fan of the game Wild Hearts. It is an awesome Monster Hunter adjacent game, which is really good. I think it was really solid competition for Monster Hunter in a very healthy way to help it grow, I think. And I know that the demo has released for Wild Hearts on the Nintendo Switch 2. So in this video, I wanted to compare that, give you guys the first 10 minutes of gameplay on it, see what it looks like, give my thoughts on it, and then also compare, this is the Steam Deck OLED, because I feel like this is a pretty close approximation to what a lot of people are kind of on the fence about, either getting a Nintendo Switch 2 or, just keeping their Steam Deck or whichever way you want to go. But I feel like it's a good comparison. So I own Wild Hearts on the Steam Deck here. So I own it on Steam. I have a copy of it. It's absolutely terrible because of the EA launcher and all that stuff. So I basically don't really ever play, and I've never really been able to play it well on the Steam Deck anyway. It does not run that great. But then it did come out on the PlayStation. It was either a monthly game or it was on the Plus Premium, but it's on there right now. So if you guys do have that, check that out. And if you have a Portal, you can also play it through there as well too. So I'll show you guys the difference between the gameplay. This is streaming, and I am downloading. Let's see where that's at. I am downloading Wild Hearts for the Steam Deck edition too, so you guys can see that one. It's pretty terrible and basically unplayable in my opinion, if I remember correctly. So let's dive into the demo that was released for Wild Hearts today. So let's go. I'm gonna go from the very beginning and show you guys the first like 10-15 minutes of gameplay, and then kind of give my thoughts as we go. So Wild Hearts is a really good game. It's really solid gameplay, very different, very unique to the hunting kind of genre, I think, in a way that it implements like almost like a Minecraft Fortnite type of building system into your fights, which it's not as nearly as bad as that sounds probably to some people, but yeah, we'll check it out. I did fire this up and I did notice it looks rough. I don't have the technical specs with me or pulled up or anything like that, but I just want to give my initial thoughts and first impressions. This is definitely like a scaled down version of Wild Hearts. It almost feels like a mobile port or something almost. You'll see the textures and things like that are really rough, and you can even see in the loading screen here, everything looks really rough, like almost like this is scaled back to almost run on a Nintendo Switch 1. So let's do a new game. We're gonna do from nothing, and then we'll kind of show you guys the gameplay. If you are thinking about picking up Switch 2, it's really good. And let me preface that by what I'm saying. Like, the Nintendo Switch 2 isn't as powerful as a PS5 Pro. That's obvious. But what I am kind of trying to allude to is the fact that the game itself looks much more scaled back than the other ports I've seen. So here, while that's downloading on the Steam Deck here, we're going to put it off to the side and try to zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit better. And I primarily play everything in handheld mode. We could dock it and I could do the footage that way too, but I feel like getting the handheld version of this is really what people are interested in, especially if you're coming from a Steam Deck. And you can kind of see the textures and everything feel much less next gen than they did on the other consoles and, playing on the PC and stuff. So I think that this is a much more scaled back version of the game, which is probably to help target the frame rates and stuff. Yeah, this feels like almost more akin to like Rise with the texture packets here. So we'll skip some of these cinematics too to kind of get more of the action and gameplay here. It definitely feels low FPS. It's probably 30, and you can see as we run, there's going to be a lot of pop in. See, there's a lot of like aliasing on the character itself, really rough around the edges, and has almost like a frame gen upscale feel to it. So that's probably happening here, and you can see like the textures will load as we run. This could change from the time the demo releases to the game release, which the game releases on July 25th. And but it's only $50 too, which is kind of nice considering that so many of these games have been pretty high priced. So if you're looking to get something like fun that'll probably last you you could easily get a solid 100 hours of gameplay out of this if you're really into it, picking up the weapons and things like that. You can kind of see. Movements feels pretty good. It feels fluid. I don't see too many frame drops, if at any, but we also don't have any of the monsters or kimono as they're called in this on screen. So let's try to get to one of those and see what it looks like. Yeah, look at all the pop in if you can see it in the back there. There's a lot of pop in on this. So don't pick this up expecting like that high fidelity, like even Cyberpunk looks, you know, this looks substantially better. But if you do have a Nintendo Switch 2 and you've never played Wild Hearts and you do like the idea of Monster Hunter and stuff, I highly recommend checking this out. And for $50, like this is probably going to be a really solid pickup. The biggest drawback for Wild Hearts is it's an EA game and they cut support for it I think a year ago on the regular game, so I'm hoping that maybe we'll see some more love on this one. But the game was really good. The team behind it are the ones that did the Toei Kaiden games, and if I'm not mistaken, they built their own engine for this game. So that's why it had a lot of problems initially at start and stuff like that. So, oh man, but it is pretty rough on this. Like I'm seeing there's some frame drops right there for sure. I can only imagine, like there's a lot of particle effects and different types of like, I don't know, anime sword fighting effects if you want to call it like that whenever you're playing the game. And you can kind of see these textures look really low res, so I'm not sure. They had to have scaled this back to basically get it on the Switch. That's more than likely what happened, just so they could hit that 30 FPS frame target, I'm sure. I doubt they're trying for 40. They could be, though. So we'll do some, yeah, even the cinematics you can see here, the quality looks really low res on a lot of things, and I still feel like there's a lot of pop in. So like, even the cutscenes are really rough. I'm pretty sure they're rendering in game, so they're not like pre-rendered. And you can see like the pop in of the cape, and even the cape doesn't have very good physics in this, so it is watered down for sure. But either way, I think it's gonna be a fun game. I'm gonna pick it up for sure when it comes out. I think it'll be fun, and I know the gameplay was really solid whenever I played it on the other systems. And I've got, you know, easily 150 hours in the game. It's a really good Monster Hunter alternative, especially for not having like Monster Hunter World or Wilds. If you guys are into Wilds, I'm not really a big fan of it, but I've sunk some hours into it. You know, I have been hoping for a hunting type game on this, and oh man, like you can even see like there's like some huge pixelation on things. I mean, even the shadows have huge pixelation and stuff, and then like here you can see it's very, very undefined and very like pre-rendered, it feels like. So yeah, all right, let's skip cinematics. Okay, so here we are, we're back. We're skipping some of the cutscenes and stuff, and there is some huge frame drops, and the rendering on the monsters looks absolutely terrible. So I'm gonna say this, if this is playing like this, as much as I really enjoyed this game, this is gonna be... how do I get up? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, if this is the game and the way it's playing right now, this is gonna be a pass. Like I'm not gonna recommend this. This is so terrible. And if you have the Switch 2, you can definitely check out the game and see how it plays. Because later on in the game, there's a lot of things with the creation and a lot of movement and massive amounts of particles on the screen and stuff. I'll show when I pull up the other versions of it. Yeah, you can see the shadows like kind of all over the place, like popping in and out. It's very distracting. And let's see what happens. Like I wouldn't doubt it if it crashes whenever we get to this kimono up here, the big ice wolf here. It's struggling with the particle effects on here. I don't even think it's the Switch 2. I honestly think it's the game. It is just very poorly optimized. So yeah, let's see how it fights before we kind of get too much more into my opinions of it, and then we'll see what it looks like on the other systems. If you guys want to stick around for that, anybody that has stuck around this far into it. Control. It has been a while since I played. Man, this feels like a Vita game or something at the rate this is going. I forgot all the buttons, and it doesn't help that on the Switch I think that they're reversed, like they're, you know, like with the Switch layout. I don't think I even have my big main ability on this yet. I wonder if they cut that out to cut down particle effect? Yeah. Wow. I'm a little bit surprised at how bad this looks, honestly. So, yeah, with the way this looks, zoom in, I think this is going to be a pass. It's so rough, and this game is out on so many other consoles and for so cheap on other consoles. You can go buy a copy at Walmart for a PS5 for, I think, maybe less than $20. Look, this is so rough. Like, do not buy this game right now. Like, I mean, yeah, you can just see it is just staggeringly rough right now, and I don't even know if it's picking up on the screen itself. I put it to I think it's on 1080p 60 FPS. I couldn't get to 4K 60 on here, so let's see if we can skip cinematics with just mainly because I know the monsters get insane amounts of like particle effects and stuff, and like I can tell right now with the way this is playing with like the base monsters and stuff on here. Oh, hold on, the creation's different now in this. How are we extracting ZL? Yeah, so this is the aspect of the game where you create things to help fight the monsters. Oh, hold on. Why is a different button? So, and like the more elaborate things you create, the more crazy it's gonna get. So yeah, this is gonna get real bad. Trying not to be a Debbie Downer here, but you know. Yeah, if you've never played the game before, it would just not even be a good experience, I feel like. And I figure that they would have had more polish on this, but now the fact that they have it, you know, $50 on release makes sense to me. Let's see if I can under it. Oh, on, wrong button. I mean, look at this tree texture. It looks like it hasn't loaded yet. So I'm gonna, because I'm just not enjoying this and I don't want to make this video too long, I'm gonna show you guys the other versions of this and how much different it is, because this is genuinely a really good game, and the team that made it did a really great job, especially with the tools that EA had left them and things. So I highly recommend checking out the game, especially if you're a Monster Hunter fan. I cannot recommend it on the Switch 2. This is pretty abysmal. So, all right, let's get swapped. Okay, so here we're on the Steam Deck OLED, and we are streaming from the PS5 Pro over Wi-Fi via Chiaki. So I'm going to show you guys how the game looks on here. Zoom it out a little bit. There you go. And you can see, like, yeah, this is on a PS5 Pro streaming over Chiaki, but I mean, here's one of the items that you use constantly to fight. I just don't think that, here, let's see. Here's one of the things. You constantly do fire particle effects, and like you do it frequently in the fights. Forgot how to like conjure everything. But yeah, here's one of the other modes of fights. So you constantly jump into over a creature and you fly. Like, yeah, I just don't think that, you know, here's one of the other ways. And the game looks incredible. It is a good looking game too. So yeah. And this is I think it was PS4. This is a PS5 version though, so they did patch it for a PS5. Yeah, and here's the environments you can walk around in, and you can just see like the textures comparatively. I wish I knew where the other one was to get to it. I could show you, but let's get like some of this stone texture here. You can just see like, oh, here on camera. So here, yeah, if we can look at some of this texture here, like look at some of this comparatively. Yeah, this is on the PS5 Pro, I get it, but this is also what you'd see playing the PlayStation version, or the Xbox version, which Xbox version is on Game Pass. Like, so you've got, you know, a Game Pass one, you've got, it's in the PlayStation catalog. Here, I mean, you can even get the hard disk game for like next to nothing. You know, it is a fantastic game, and it's a great experience, especially if you're into like Monster Hunter. And there's still a big fan base that plays the game, if I'm not mistaken, so you're never really like, you know, out of help if you're trying to play with other people. So yeah, this is the Chiaki version in an ice area, and you can just look at the textures, look at the animation, the frame rate. So PS5 version, right? Like this is obviously PS5 version. So let's switch over to the absolutely terrible Steam Deck version, and we'll show you guys that. So it's not necessarily that it was the Steam Deck version that was bad, but it was the fact that it's an EA game and it makes you do an EA account and all this other BS, and then it was really rough to play. So, yeah, installing the EA Script app, here you go. Here, EA. And it might, I think that closing this window will cancel your install. Yeah, so you literally can't even play the game, I believe, without it. Cancel install. Let's see if we can get past it, because before it wouldn't let me get past it at all. So if it does, I'll be pretty happy about that, which would be nice, because that was the thing that was killing me playing that version, was the fact that you had to have an EA account. Nope, pretty sure you need the EA. So yeah, don't recommend getting it on a Steam Deck. Don't recommend playing it on any type of PC situation because, you know, of this, but you know, you can still get it and have a good time on there. The PlayStation version is substantially better though. Yeah, here's some of the, yeah. So I got to figure out how I'm going to edit this video, but I was excited about this. I was really looking forward to playing this game and checking it out and kind of like really, you know, fangirling over this thing because it's a great game, and this is not a good version of it. This looks really, really bad. This looks like one of the worst ports on a Nintendo Switch 2 that I've seen yet. And, you know, some of them have been like fantastic. You know, I haven't played Cyberpunk yet on this device, but, you know, the comparison videos, seeing it side by side with like other systems, it's pretty good, I think. And yeah, wow. So let me set this up. We'll cut this part and then we'll jump over to here, and then we will. Yeah. So now because I hit no on the EA launcher, I can't even get into the game. Fantastic. Yeah. Do not buy it on the PC. 100% don't buy it on the PC. I bought it on the PC. Recommend do not buy it on the PC. Do not buy it on the Switch 2. Play it on PlayStation or Xbox. So, all right. I'm going to cut it there because it's not worth trying to. Basically, I'd have to reinstall the EA launcher, figure out what the fuck's going on with that. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to leave the video there and let you guys know. Thank you guys for checking the video out. And anybody interested in this game, I'm really sorry about the fact that the game is in such a terrible state. it would be a no-brainer pickup on like $20 or something like that if you get it for a huge discount. But the way it is now, do not spend $50 on that. That is going to be a huge waste of time. That game is going to break hardcore when you're fighting some of the more intense fights. I mean, not even the more intense fights. Even the low-end monsters have massive particle effects, and it's gonna. I just don't even think it's gonna run properly. It's probably gonna end up crashing. But that's my opinion. Thank you guys for hanging out, though. I appreciate it, and I wish it was better. Thanks. Bye.